So, full disclosure before I start this book versus movie, I only read this book because I wanted to see what the hype was about, not because I specifically wanted to read it. And if you remember from my sort of summer wrap ups last year, I wasn't a huge fan of the book. So, should make for an interesting book versus movie. Welcome back, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Katrina, and I make bookish content here on this channel every week, and then movie reviews here at the weekend. My movie reviews and my book versus movie videos are spoiler free, and if you are looking for more book versus movie content, I will leave a playlist of my videos linked up above because they are my favorite kind of videos to make. So I feel like this one was kept really quite quiet for a little while. And it was like the hype of the book, the hype of the book, the hype of the release of the sort of sequel. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, and here's the movie, and it's coming out on the 9th of August. So, yes, it was an interesting demographic in the cinema because I saw it at lunchtime on a Monday as I'm filming this. Literally, now I've come back and filmed this for you. So I'm like, there was just lots of women in there at lunchtime on a Monday. I don't think many people were doing like I did and like take their lunch in. But yeah, there was a few male viewers, but mainly it was groups of women. I didn't see anyone else that was by themselves like me. But yes, overall, I would say that this movie sticks really closely to the book. Like with most books that have been made into movies, the movie misses out some like little side note, nitty gritty detail bits that can be like shown rather than written in the movie, rather than having the book actually, say on paper, oh, and their apartment looked like this. You just see the apartment, or oh, and he wore this and this and this. You just see what they wore. I think overall, though, the actual order of events, the way the book opens up and the way the movie opens up are exactly the same. And no spoilers, the way the book closes and the way the movie closes are exactly the same. Um, One of the things that really struck me, because like I say, I feel like we've not heard an awful lot of things about this. I'm not going to talk about any of the controversy surrounding anything going on in this film because there's so much stuff being talked about on TikTok about this, star and director and what have you. But I'm not going to go into that at all. But oh my goodness, the casting of Jenny Slate um, as Alyssa. Oh my goodness, it was just perfect. Um, in the book, we do get to see, I think, a little bit more of Alyssa, but again, the movie has time constraints that the book doesn't have to stick to. And so I think that's probably almost definitely the reason behind that. But I just thought the casting of Jenny Slate was absolutely perfect. She was fabulous. I would have loved to have seen more of her, number one, because I love Jenny Slate, and number two, because the character is so wonderful in the book as well as in the film. And so I would have liked to have seen more of her just because I love the character. But then I am a sucker for an amazing sidekick. I, remember those sidekicks from those books that I have loved. The casting of everyone else was fine. I think everyone kind of matched the way I sort of saw them in my head as I was reading the book. I think Lily, I saw her a little bit less glamorous, but then this film's being made in Hollywood. We're not really going to have a less glamorous actress because it's Hollywood. So I think that Blake Lively did a good job. I will say, and I know this might be controversial, but these might be directorial choices, or they might be choices that Blake Lively's made when playing the character. But the amount that she kind of like nervously laughs at things and does a weird little wistful smile at things, there was just too many of them. I just found it a little bit annoying. So she'd be having a conversation, and instead of like saying actual words in the conversation, she'd just do this like little laugh and like a wistful smile. And there was a tooth lip thing. I mean, we're not going back to the lip biting of 50 Shades of Grey, thankfully. But it was like this tooth lip thing that she did that, again, might be a Blake Lively thing. It might be the directorial choice. But it grated on me a little bit. And yeah, whilst I do absolutely 100% think that it is so important that we keep, telling these stories of why or why not people stay in relationships which are abusive. I think it's so important to tell these stories. And I think this book and movie do a good job of doing that. I still feel like both the book and the movie just weren't for me. I think they were both a little bit too slow burn. The movie felt long, even though I was eating my lunch whilst watching it in the cinema. So I had, no distractions. I had the full, I was there in front of the screen. I wasn't thinking about leaving to go and get my lunch. I was still sort of conscious of the time and conscious of well, I know we're going to get to this bit next, and I know we're going to get to that bit next. So I think if you're watching the film without having read the book, which I don't think it's going to be a lot of people, because this book was like, best-selling sensation, then I think there are obviously going to be key moments that you're like, oh, and now this is happening, and your interest is kept a little bit more. Whereas I was like, oh, when are we going to get to this bit? When are we going to get to that bit? No spoilers. And so I just felt like it was dragging a little bit. It wouldn't stop me if they made a movie adaptation of either It Starts With Us or kind of anything around that. It wouldn't stop me watching that, because I think that the movie definitely stayed close to the book, and so I respect the screenwriting and what was being played out on the screen. However, I thought, oh, maybe because I didn't like the book, I'm gonna really like the film. However, because I didn't like the book, I also didn't like the film. Not so much that I would have walked out, because I wanted to see it through, make the comparison for you. But there's not really an awful lot more to say, in so much as everything that happens in the book happens in the film. There's little details that are left out that you would expect from an adaptation of a book. I would have liked to have seen more. I know I said it was a bit of a slow drag, but I think if it had been the same length but given me a little bit more of Alyssa and Marshall, or given me a little bit more of kind of Lily in her business, or had given me a little bit more of Atlas in his business, I think that I would have enjoyed that more than kind of just dragging out each little section and dragging out each little section. I think that's maybe where it fell short for me. But yeah, as a book versus movie, I don't prefer either, because I would not watch or read either again. And in terms of it being a good adaptation, I thought it was a good adaptation of the book. So there you have it. As always, if there is a particular book versus movie adaptation that you would like me to go and read and watch and bring my thoughts to you here in another video, do let me know in comments. Make sure if you enjoyed this video, you give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my future bookish content and my movie review videos. And yes, I will see you with my next video. Thanks for watching.